What is up, YouTube? Today we have a little different topic today. I want to talk about how hypergamy affects men, okay? And makes some of the men feel bitter, all right? So to get into this, let's start off with the definition of hypergamy. Hypergamy is the practice of marrying or dating someone of a higher social status, education, income, or other economic indicators. I also believe physical indicators as well. You know how women, they love to say, "I want a man 6 feet, 6 foot, or 6 foot, six figures, and 6 inches." So I guess some physical does apply to that as well. So now that we know the definition of hypergamy, I want to get into how that affects men. All right. So nowadays you got this constant woman bash, and I'm not here to sit here and defend women and their actions, and we can get into that as well on how this generation of women is just completely screwed and etc. But we're here to talk about some men today. No weird shit. How it affects men is, you got men super insecure nowadays, and women, all right, yes, these men are insecure. Okay, they're not secure themselves, and for the most part, these men, they just don't know how to handle a woman, or they don't know how to conquer a woman. And yes, contrary to belief, some women want to be conquered and they need to be conquered. In my opinion, a woman needs to be conquered. They need to be led. They need to be shown how to operate within a relationship most of the time, unless you got the rare occasion of like a quote unquote perfect woman, which is, very far and few. It affects men in a different way. Hypergamy, it doesn't really apply to women as much as it applies to men. Even dating way back when there was tribes, the woman particularly found the most suitable mate, especially like the high quality woman. They're usually married off to other high quality men. So that leaves the rest of the men, the percentage that isn't of value. What happens to them? They end up being overlooked. They are used. They are mistreated, not taken serious. Most of the time, there's no attention even given to them. So the men that fall under that category of not the upper percentile, which a lot of these women tend to gravitate towards and desire sexually and financially and security wise, they often are left out, left in the dust. They're left in the shadows, not appreciated, very undervalued, contrary to their value that they could bring. Actually, what women want from a high value man is what the lower value man could give. But they tend to want the up. They want to date up. But for right now, we're going to be focusing on the men that are quote unquote low value, the ones that don't benefit from hypergamy, and how to actually not let it bother you as much. So nowadays, I always see a lot of men talking about, oh man, the women, they just use me. Oh, they don't take me serious, or they just aren't supportive, or in things like that. And I agree. Woman nature could be very, 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 very dark. I think that if you allow a woman to run circles on you, she would. And I know if there's any woman viewing this, that there's been men in their lives where they just completely walked over, just stepped all over them and left them on the doorstep in front of the door. Just completely walked over them and just didn't really think much about it. And I know that there's some men that they really wanted, they really desired, and they just couldn't keep because of his lifestyle, his habits, just etc. Whatever he had going on. If you are a low value man, let's just do quote unquotes, and you're maybe, I don't know, under 5'6", under 5'8", and you're not fit, and you don't make a lot of money, how can one be successful with women? And it all starts with confidence. But confidence is something that is easily said but hard to achieve. And confidence starts with, what do you do with your time? So you have to give up certain things that put your confidence in jeopardy. For example, masturbating, procrastination, quitting, any low vibrational activities, not valuing your time, not pursuing purpose, not working out. Okay, a lot of these influencers, they say like, oh man, just go to the gym and then you'll get your money, you'll get your women. No, I 100% disagree. Okay, I think that a gym is a very good trait, to a very good activity to have, but I don't think it solves everybody's problems like the red pill community um, preaches. It's just a tool to help you be more confident. But if you aren't going out there and approaching women, if you aren't going out there and interacting with women, you are going to stay the exact same. In my opinion, hypergamy is very real, but it doesn't matter if you're at the lower end of the spectrum, because you know what? Mass majority of young men are at the lower end of the spectrum. You could be 6 foot. I was 6 foot, but I was extremely skinny, and no money coming in, and not a lot of women took me serious, respected me. Not a lot of women considered me a long-term mate, and that disturbed me to the core of me. So you know what I went out and did? I got bigger, I upgraded my finances, and I learned, and I spent a lot of time single, which is okay. Involuntarily single, whatever you may call it, but I used that time to just continue upgrading myself. I had to take a step back and look at myself from a third perspective. You know, where am I screwing up? Where am I lacking? Okay, let's say 3 years ago, my body was lacking, very skinny, looked malnourished. My pockets were empty, no money coming in, no income, and my overall understanding of women was skewed. I was bitter as well, and I didn't know how to completely be in my masculine essence, so allowing a woman to be in her feminine essence, so that way I could lead. I didn't know how to lead. I didn't know how to be a true leader. I didn't know how to stand firm. But now none of those things are issue. So I'm telling whoever's watching this, it does get better. It does get better, and better is always an option. Better is always in the future. You just gotta work for it. You know, it doesn't just come to those who desire it. It comes for those who create it by everyday actions, by every day putting that step in front of the other. So, like I said, you gotta look at yourself from a third perspective view, and do a own self analysis. Okay, and then once you start acknowledging where you're at fault, now it's time to upgrade. And it might take years, but at least you won't be stuck in this same horrible situation, because hypergamy is real, and a lot of men suffer from being at the lower end. Okay, a lot of men, they get married and divorced. You know what? I blame the men. Okay, because they spent their whole life single. They spent their whole life getting no play. And right when they found someone to get locked in, they start abiding by her rules, being a yes man, not standing firm in their masculine, and just overextending themselves, pleasing the woman. Okay, you should please a woman, but you shouldn't please her 100% of the time. You have to be able to say no. You have to be able to just be your own man. Don't do things that you don't want to do. Plain and simple. So now that we have the blueprint on how to better ourselves, what do we do now with women? Okay, let's say you struggle with approaching women, etc., etc. I strongly believe that even if you struggle with approaching women, unless you are someone that is like 5'6", you're not technically fit, and you're not really on the handsome scale, it will be a struggle. Women won't really put themselves in your lane, or put themselves approachable for you. So you might have to do the extra work, because the handsome men, that tall men, the stronger men, The guy that's 6 foot and above, actually, they don't struggle with men, with women. Excuse me. They don't struggle with women. Actually, women throw themselves at them. So it's very easy to get women when you're, quote unquote, a high valued man. You know. So when you are, struggling with obtaining women, you will have to put the effort in, especially if you're lacking on other areas, which is okay, because at the end of the day, you have to have the mindset of, okay, she might say no, but in 24 hours, will she even remember me? So it really doesn't matter. Don't be attached to an outcome like, oh, I have to get this girl's number. You know what? There's billions of women out here. If one woman's no is another woman's yes. So if she says no, you got to look at it like, all right, you missed your opportunity, on to the next. So you have to know your value. And don't attach your value to someone else's no. Because like I said, someone else's no is another woman's yes. So do not attach your value on what any other person's opinion, man or woman. Like I said, if you're struggling in those areas and women aren't necessarily throwing themselves at you, you have to go out there and get them. And that will build character. That will build hunger. And women like that. Women like a man that's hungry, that will go out there and chase them. Because women want to be chased. And I don't necessarily mean chase in terms of doing things uncharacteristic and extending yourself. I meant approaching, make an offer like, hey, you want to get to know me? Would you like to, maybe keep it short and simple. Can I get your number? Would you like to get to know each other? Go out to dinner maybe? And I also see a lot of men, oh, she used me for dinner. Okay, well, maybe not take the lady out for dinner. If a girl's intentions are good, anything will suffice. Anything will, okay, we can go hiking, go out for free. You know what? Grab some sandwiches from Sprouts. $4 a sandwich. You guys go on a hike together. You get to know each other. You do a physical activity. Boom. Okay. Or a lot of men, they complain, oh, she used me for dinner. Well, thank God she just used you for dinner and didn't get half of your assets and divorced you down the road. So you got to change your perspective. Like, oh, they're using me. No, you dodged a bullet. Dinner, $100 dinner isn't really much. You can recover from that. Just pick up a shift, work overtime or something like that. It doesn't really matter. What matters is just you're testing these women. You're seeing which one is worth it. You're seeing which one is not worth it. Eventually, the woman that is true for you, the woman that is good for you, will find you. You won't find the woman that you are of your dreams, or the woman that will help you succeed, or the woman that you're looking for by going out there and searching for it. You have to attract. A lot of the times these men, they attract these type of women, because not once have I attracted a woman that used me for dinner, my resources, even though I didn't really have much resources to get used from anyway. So what are you going to take? My freaking couple of bucks that I have left for fucking in and out? Yeah, so not a lot of women use me for that type of stuff. And also it's because I didn't have that attraction, that I didn't attract those type of women in my life. So in order to attract good women, you have to be a good man. And I'm not just talking about, oh, okay, you give charity, okay, you do this and that. No, you have to be good within the heart. And if you know that you're not good within the heart, then you're always going to attract negative women. And if you're a negative person yourself, you're going to attract negative women. So you have to know your value. You have to be very self-aware. And that's how you attract the good woman. You have to be self-aware. You have to know your value. And you have to have boundaries. That's very important as a man, especially if you're struggling with hypergamy. You have to know your boundaries, what you're willing to put up with, and exactly what you're not willing to put up with. And you have to enforce those. Like, okay, if you're not on board with this situation, you can leave. And I will not take you seriously. So my advice to men that are struggling with hypergamy is just lock in for a little bit. Upgrade yourself. Know your value. And learn female nature and how to conquer it. Because it's conquerable. Okay, you are the leader. You have to have that mindset of being able to lead a woman. And also know your boundaries. Respect yourself. And don't let any woman walk over you, because once you allow it once, they'll keep on doing it. And just have a positive mindset and realize that better is always possible. Better is not impossible, and you can get better. I've watched this very wise quote and I listen to it every morning. You can give your energy to either your nightmare or your dreams. And the person said, I'd rather give my energy to my dreams if it's going to go somewhere. So give a lot of hope, give a lot of faith into just becoming better, and to having that positive mindset that things can turn around for you. Okay? And I hope the best for you. If anybody out there watching this struggles with, issues with women, reach out to me, man, and we can work one on one. I could help you out. We can start together. I genuinely want to help people. That's my goal with this channel. I just want to help people upgrade themselves, because I was once there. I was once at a place where my pockets were hurting. I was once at a place where no woman wanted me. I was once at a place where I just wasn't happy. And it's not a pretty place to be. And I climbed myself out of there by myself. So if you ever need help, anybody reach out to me. We can work one on one. And without further ado, I just want to say thanks for coming by. Whoever's out there watching this, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the algorithm a lot. It pushes out to YouTube that I have quality content. And my goal this year with YouTube is just to blow up, man. Like, it's not like I'm like overly expecting it, but that's my intention with it, behind it, to have it be another revenue of income for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just want to be a creator instead of a consumer. So hopefully everybody that engages into my content gets inspired to become creators, because nowadays you can start making money off of creating. A lot of us even myself, spend a lot of time consuming all this content, consuming all these posts and videos, reels, shorts. Okay, we got to switch the narrative in 2025 and start becoming creators, that we are the ones being watched and the ones being paid, instead of the ones getting other people paid and watching them, which is okay as well, because I've learned a lot of YouTube. So that being said, thanks for coming by. See you guys on the next one.